This video is going to be about how to set up Sierra Chart, the essentials that you need to know about getting started with Sierra Chart quickly. I'm going to just, run through this. It's not really that complicated. I see a lot of times people kind of overcomplicate it because there's so many features inside of Sierra Chart, but Sierra Chart is not really that complicated. And just a quick note right here at the beginning, I highly recommend that you stay, tuned in until the end, where I have a special announcement, something that you should be really interested in if you're interested in Sierra Chart. And so with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, also, this video is going to be added to the Ultimate Charting Guide, the quick start guide for Sierra Chart, so you'll be able to see it there. I have a quick start guide in the Ultimate Charting Guide for Sierra Chart, but it's a little outdated now. Sierra Chart is upgraded, added some things, changed some things around. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The way that I'm doing this is, you see here, I have Windows 11, but this is in a VMware. I wanted to show this on Windows 11 because, and this is a Windows 11 Pro. I want to show it on Windows 11 because just for anybody that may still be curious if Sierra Chart works on Windows 11, it does. I know back in the earlier days of Windows 11, it was a little funny getting set up, but I didn't have that problem when I tried to set up Sierra Chart this time, right? So it does work on Windows 11, and that's why I've been using it on Windows 11 on my MacBook, using Parallels on my MacBook for several months. Haven't had any issues, no connection issues, anything like that. So it works just fine, just like on Windows 10. So if you're interested in that, you can check out that video that I will link in this video. Also, if you need keys for Windows 11, you don't want to pay Microsoft, you don't want to pay what they charge. You want to pay a cheaper. I think I got this one, the keys for this that I can use on 5 different systems. I think I paid like less than $15, right? So really cheap compared to if you get it from Microsoft. All right. So anyway, all of that information will be in that video that I'm linking here. Now, before you even start setting up Sierra Chart, so you want to have a broker, right? And you should already have all this stuff before you even, thinking about getting started or getting Sierra Chart set up, right? So in terms of the broker, you want to have a active and funded account with an actual broker. And I'm saying that for anyone that may be interested in Sierra Chart for one of these funded prop firm programs. When you go through like Top Step or Apex or Earn the Trade or all the different funded programs that are out right now, you can't just have one of those accounts, right? You can't just have an evaluation. You can't just have a performance account, and then you got to have a regular, active, and funded futures trading account, right? So you can actually go to Sierra Chart and get more information about this. I just share my Notion to make it easier. All right, so you can see the requirements here, but just to make it simple, why you can't use the funded accounts is because per the CME group, in order to be able to pay the non-professional rates, you have to have an active and funded futures trading account. Now, with these funded programs, you don't have that, right? You're trading in a simulation. You're not trading in an actual live and funded account. Even once you go to the performance account stage, you can get paid for your performance, and the prop firm has the ability to copy your trades. That's how they can make money off of your trading, your active trading, but you still don't have an active and funded account, right? And then if, let's say, you advance on and they actually give you a funded account, when that happens, you're categorized as a professional trader. So you still won't, even if you're, let's say you with Top Step and you advance to the stage where they want to fund you an actual account that you can trade real money from, they have to bring you on as a professional trader, and then you still got to pay the professional rates, right? Now, how they work out all of that on their end, I haven't personally experienced that for myself, so I can't go into detail about that. But I'm only bringing this up to say, if you're trying to use Sierra Chart for these funded programs, as I do, you still need to have a regular trading account that has actual money in it that you can trade, with a regular broker like, Edge Clear or AMP or Iron Beam or any of these, other brokers out here that's not part of the whole funded trading movement, right? So we should be clear on that by now. All right, so you can see this is the packages. These are the packages here. If you're trading futures, you can kind of get it here, while you would need package 10 or 11. So you have also 3 and 5. but 3 and 5 is only going to be available for, it's only going to be useful for this data here. So if you're trading Forex or CFDs, or if you're, doing crypto or something like that. So they also have this Sierra Chart exchange data feed. Sierra Chart has discontinued that, so I don't even know why they have that link there anymore. Let me click on it and see what happens. So yeah, if you click on it, you can see that they no longer have that. They stopped that as of March 13th of this year, 2023, right? So if you're trading futures, you're going to need to have package 10 or 11, right? If you're trading Forex or CFDs or any of that other stuff, you can get away with package 3 or 5, right? And that's if you're trying to trade them, or if you just need the data for analysis. It doesn't matter if you need data for futures, for trading futures, or even analyzing futures, you're going to need package 10 or 11. I'm just saying it over and over so we can understand that you're going to need package 10 or 11 if you're trading futures. All right, so the difference between 10 and 11, basically you have these extra features here in 11, okay? So 10 is just going to be standard stuff. So if you're just using candlestick charts, you don't need to see market information, like depth of market information. You're not trying to trade off a footprint chart. You're not trying to get extra fancy with your volume profile and all. You can actually, in 10, you can have a basic volume profile, but in order to use the volume profile interactive drawing tool, you're going to need, as you can see here, you're going to need package 11, right? And if you're trying to trade with the TPO chart, which is like growing in popularity, you're going to need also package 11. All right. So in this video, I'm not going to talk about these in depth. Just understand if you need any of these here, you're going to need package 11. All right. So to simplify everything that I just said, basically, if you're trading futures and you want to use Sierra chart, if you're just trading regular, you're just using regular candlesticks, your trading is super simple. You don't need all the extra tools and stuff that uses depth of market information. You can get away with 10. But 9 times out of 10, most traders are going to probably need 11, so you can get that extra information. So, and then that also plays into your data, no matter if you're using Rhythmic, CQG, if you're using, TT, or if you're using T-Ton or whatever. Even if you're using interactive brokers, you're trying to use interactive brokers with Sierra Chart, it's not going to work with packages 3 or 5. You're going to need package 10, 11, and then there's also 12, but we don't even really need to be concerned about 12 because most retail traders don't even use 12, right? So that's that part of it. Now, in terms of having live data, you're still going to need to pay for live CME data through Denali. So you just go to Sierra Chart's page here, and like once you're getting all this set up, you just pick which exchange that you need, right? So if you're only trading, let's say the ES, or you're only trading NQ or one of the indices, or anything that's on the CME exchange, you can actually, instead of paying this for the full group, the non-professional rate, you see the non-professional rate is basically $35 a month. But if you only just need a CME, like, so for me personally, I only have CME for my Denali data, you can also do that. You can separate it and you can pay the $11.50 a month, right? And that's also, there's 2 different types. So you have so let's just look at this full CME. You have with the market depth, so that'd be like package 11. That one's $34. That's for the full CME group. That's $34 a month. But if you only need the package 10 version, like you only need the simple stuff, you can get away with non-pro that doesn't include the market depth information, which is $3.50 a month, right? So that's why I say you need to know exactly what you're trying to do with Sierra Chart, how you're trying to trade, what your plan is, what information you're going to need before you even get started with Sierra Chart, right? Have all that. If you don't know that, don't even worry about Sierra Chart. Get your trading together, get your plan together, know what you're looking for analysis, and you can always upgrade if you need to, but you need to know how you plan on using Sierra Chart. All right, so as an example, let's just say I'm interested in trading the S&P using one of Apex's funded accounts, right? So on top of signing up for Apex, I need to have a regular funded account. So let's just say I open up an account with Edge Clear, and then I deposit money inside of my account with Edge Clear. All right, so this is what I would need to use Sierra Chart. I got Apex if I'm trying to do the funded thing. If I don't want to do funded, I could just have T-Ton. But if I'm trying to do Apex, I'm gonna need something else. I'm gonna need another broker. Okay, so we got that clear. Now I'm using TPO charts. to trade for this example, and I'm trading ES, okay? And if you're setting, this is how I would recommend, just write it all down, so you don't have to try to do everything in your head. You have it all written down, and it's easy for you to decide how to get this set up. And I'm breaking it down like this because I get a lot of these questions all the time, so I want to make it as simple as possible. Okay, so I'm using TPO charts to trade ES. So already I know I'm going to need, for Sierra chart, I'm going to need package 11 because of the TPO, right? And then for ES, I need live data for ES. So we're using, because I got Teton, so we're going to use the Denali, and I'm going to need the CME. I'm going to use the CME non-pro with market depth. And I don't want the full version. All I want is the regular CME stuff, right? So let's just go ahead and get some prices with this. So for package 11, that's going to be $46 per month, right? And for my CME data, I'm using CME with market depth for non-professional trading. That's going to be $11.50. And that's just for the Sierra chart portion of it. Now with Teton, so if you're using Edge Clear, there's nothing additional that you got to pay with Edge Clear. This is why, one of the reasons why I like it. So like if I'm using, I also have AMP. Since I have CQG with AMP, I do have a fee for CQG that I also have to pay to AMP in addition to what I pay for a Sierra chart, right? So if I'm just setting this up like this, this is all my cost for just having the data and having Sierra chart. That's all I got. So my total cost just to have Sierra chart in this situation, this scenario, is going to be $57.50, right? And now once I start trading, then I'm going to start getting fees and all that stuff, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about getting this set up, all right? So it's really that simple. You just need to know exactly what you're doing, and then, you know, how to get the information or how to get the services to be able to do whatever you need to do, right? So you just need to know what you're doing, and then you need to know how to get the services to be able to do what you want to do. That's it. So once you create an account and you know you're starting to set this stuff up, Sierra chart should walk you through it. I don't remember this being too complicated of a thing when I started out, and it should have gotten better by now. I don't know, but if you go to account control panel here, it'll show you at the top if there's something that you need to take care of, right? And you just take care of that, and then once you'll need to also sign up and let them know that you have a regular trading account. Let them know what that account is. You don't got to give them account information, I don't believe. But even if you do, just so that you can get the non-pro rates, you know, you just got to go through their process, through Sierra Chart's process to make that happen. Now, before we get to the part of actually setting Sierra Chart up, there's a couple things that I want to mention. One, if you're trading with multiple systems, Sierra Chart allows you by default to be able to use 3 systems at one time. So let's say you do have, you know, Denali, and then you have CQG, and you have Rhythmic. You can spread that across the 3 different systems, that 3 different computers, or your regular computer as the host, and then 2 different VMs. You can make that happen, you know, with Sierra Chart. Let's say I got Denali on my regular on one computer, then I got CQG on another computer, and then I got Rhythmic on the 3rd computer. You can set that up. But if you need like a 4th computer, you will go under account management, go to activate services, and then once you're there, you'll scroll all the way down to these additional systems, and you can pay to be able to use an additional system with a total of 4 systems, right? If you pay for another one, that's going to be an extra $16 a month if you need that. Okay, this is up to you. One other thing, if you need Denali on one or more systems, you can also set that up to where you can add another system if you want to have Denali exchange data open at the same time on 2 different systems, okay? And so you can see this is where you would go here, and this is that same page as I have right here. See, if I scroll up, then I can change that there from 1 system to 2 systems if I want. And as soon as you click set, it will go through. It's no confirmation. I don't want to try to, but I remember it like just went. I was just testing it out to see what would happen. And as soon as I clicked it, it just went straight through, and it charged me for that month. And it's not prorated or anything like that. So as soon as you set this up for 2 systems, it's going to charge you an additional fee for those 2 systems, and it'll show you what that new fee is right there. And yeah, so you're in it until you're done with that month. So just be careful with that. Just make sure that you really want 2 systems for Denali exchange data before you do that. Okay. All right, so that's all of the basic stuff for getting started before you start setting up Sierra Chart. So let's go ahead and talk about setting up Sierra Chart for the first time. All right, so let's set Sierra Chart up for the first time on this computer. Now, actually, on this VM, you can see I already have it set up, but I want to walk you through doing it from scratch. All right, so when we get to sierrachart.com, I'm going to go to Getting Started. I'm going to go to Software Download. It's going to click on this link here, the top link, the software download, and then we're going to go to download Sierra Chart. All right, so you can see I already have it downloaded once before. I'm going to open that up. This is the one I just downloaded. I'm going to get this one out of the way. All right, so I'm going to double click that, and then it's going to add, you can pick what, if you don't want the current version, you can pick a pre-release version here or a specific version. But for this example, we're just going to go with the current version. Now, one thing I want to mention here, if you already have it installed and you just click install here, if you already have one install of Sierra Chart on your computer and you just click install, it's not going to do anything, right? It's just going to basically check it and make sure it's already there. And you know, if it's if it needs to be updated, it's going to update it, but that's all it's going to do, right? So if you want to have multiple Sierra Chart installs, you're going to need to change you're going to need to change the installation path. So you just go to browse. And then for this one, you can see where it installs it for by default on your C drive. So for this one, let me just call it 2, or I can just name it right there. We're gonna go _2, and then click outside of that. Now I hit install, and once it's done, you get this pop-up here. It should take maybe a minute or two. So just go ahead and click OK. One thing I did kind of forget to mention is you have options here for where you want shortcuts to be. If you wanted to do shortcuts, if you wanted to run the program after installation, you got options there as well, right? But, you know, you can just read that. So if you selected to add a desktop shortcut, you'll see it right here on your desktop. And then you also want to make sure that you go through here and you don't have any errors or anything like that to make sure everything installs successfully. If you see this create save error or create shortcut save error, don't even worry about that. That's okay. So once it's done, you just go ahead and click close. And then it'll bring you to your login window. You just go ahead and take your account name and your password that Sierra Chart gave you when you create your account with Sierra Chart. Put that information there and log in. I already have this for one of them, so I'm just going to open up the one that I already have. I'm going to skip to that part once it's already open. All right, so once you open Sierra Chart for the first time, you're going to come to this. It's going to give you this example chart book. You can use this example chart book, but it has a lot of stuff in it. So what I would personally do is I would just close this chart book and start fresh. It doesn't matter if you save it or whatever, because I didn't do anything with it. So if I go into File, and then I go into Data Trade Server Settings, you can see it has me connected to SC Data All Services. That's really just Denali. And I'll just keep it there for now until I get it set up to where I'm ready to trade. So let me just run through this as a quick start to where you would find your main things, starting with the chart. And so to open up a chart, we're just going to stick to this example of trading ES. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Find Symbol. And I know ES is on the CME. And if I don't know that what exchange is on, I can go down here to the search and I can type ES, or let's say I want to do MES. And then I can find next, and it'll show me, it'll go right to it. Kind of. Let me have to scroll a little bit. Well, it would at least take you to the exchange that is on, right? So I'm under Future CME Real Time. And let me go for this, I'm going to go to, actually, I'm going to use ES. Click this, open that up. We're currently on contract month U. Now, I can open a historical chart. I can open an intraday chart, right? I can also open a trading DOM from here. So this is how you will open your charts. So if I'm trying to, let's just say I need a daily chart, I'll just go ahead and click on open historical chart. And then I can take this and I can, if I want to resize it, minimize it down. All right, so let's say I just got a daily chart here. Put that over to the right. And now say I want a 5-minute chart, so I'm going to go ahead and open a intraday chart. And we're just setting it up for setting this up and getting started with it. We don't even really need to know the difference between an intraday and a daily. We just need to get set up so we can start using it. And then once we start using it, then we can dig into the whys and all the extra stuff, right? And also, since we like, some traders like using the DOM, I'll go ahead and open up a DOM as well, just so we can see it. Now the thing about this DOM isn't actually resting inside of this chart book, so I can move this around. Let me minimize Sierra chart here, and let me bring this DOM back up. So you can see this is the Sierra chart window, but my DOM is here. It's open external to the chart book, so I can move it around. If I got different monitors, I can easily move it around in different monitors, and I can just move it around outside of the Sierra chart window, right? All right, so let me open that back up. Now, if you see, once I click on something else, because it's not resting inside of this workbook, it goes away. Now, if I want to keep that DOM on the top all the time, I would go to Window and always on the top. So now if I click somewhere else, it's always going to stay on top, and I don't have to worry about it. So now let's say I'm looking at this chart right here. It opened up as a 1 minute. You have your control bar. This is your control bar area. You can have more than one control bar, but this is your control bar, the default one. All right, so now once you have your charts up, I'm gonna go ahead and, I know where to find this. I'm gonna close this. So once you have your charts up, if you want to change like the candlesticks and the, the different, how this data displays here, or the time frame, you can go to chart and then go into chart settings, and you have a lot of different settings up here where you can change that. You can change the different elements of your chart. So for example, let's say I want to change it to candlestick bars. Under bar period, I would go to graph draw type, and then I would click on that, and then I would go to, let's say, candlestick bars, click A, or I can just go ahead and click OK. Now that changed the candlestick bars, right? And then, so if I need to change any of these settings inside of these chart books, then I will go to chart and then chart settings. If I want to change the global settings, like how, let's just say like the graphical settings, if I want to change it, like, customize it for dark mode, I will go to the global settings and go to graphic settings, so I can change the different settings there. So let's say with the chart background, if I want to change it across the board for the whole installation, let's just say I want to make it pink, click apply, and see, now I changed that, right? So I'm showing it like that so that you can see if you want to change something across the board within Sierra chart, you'll want to do that in global settings. If you want to change something for an individual chart or individual window, you'll go to, so for these charts, you'll go to chart, and then you'll go to your chart settings and change it individually for each chart. Now let's just look at drawings real quick. If I want to go to, my drawings are under the tools. So let's just say I want to use a Fibonacci extension. That is going to be your price expansion. So I just click on that, and then I can draw that out like that. And it's going to stay on that until I change it, right? Now, if I want to change a drawing, or if I want to change the settings to these drawings, it's the same process. I could either right click on it and then go to chart drawing properties, and I can change it that way. Globally, like if I want to just change the tool altogether, I can go under tools, and then I can go to tool config, and then I could change, let's just say for the retracement, or for the fib expansion, the price expansion, I can click on that, and then I can change it just for the tool itself, not for these individual drawings, right? So that's drawings, and I'm just running through this real quick. I can go into more details about individual parts because there's a lot of different parts to this, but this is what I'm just going through it for, like the basic stuff, right? Now, if I want to remove these drawings, I could just go to tools, and then I could go to erase all non-text drawings, and that will erase them like that. But let's just say I kind of made a mistake or something, and I just want to delete one tool at a time, or just undo what I did. I will go to edit, and then edit, and then I will go to undo chart drawing, and I can just undo that way. You can also see the shortcut. So it'll be Control Alt Z if I want to undo and Control Alt Y if I want to redo, right? So for the rest of this example, I'm not feeling this pink, so I'm going to go ahead and change that back to black. Go back to graphic settings. I can do it that way, or I can just restore the default, and that'll give me the same thing. Hit OK, and then we're good. All right, so we're looking for, if you want to bring up a time and sales for whatever reason, you can go to files here, and then you can open the time and sales window. You can see that right there. And you can also open up a market depth window if you have that data. You got that there. We got a market depth there if you need it, if you want to see it in the window like that. All right, so one more note on the aesthetic side of Sierra chart, like setting up these charts. Let's just say if you want to use, like in my example, a TPO, or you want to get fancy with footprint charts, my recommendation would be to find a template, a Chartbook template that someone else has. And you can find templates inside of the Ultimate Charting Guide, that which you will find the Ultimate Charting Guide inside the Ultimate Traders Guide, right? Let's go down here. Once you go to Ultimate Traders Guide, and you'll navigate your way to Ultimate Charting Guide. And in here, I have Sierra chart books and resources. Now I already have some templates in here, but I'm going to be adding more. I'm going to be adding a footprint at least, and I should add I don't know if I got a TPO in here. If not, add a TPO in there as well, right? TPO is probably in one of these already, but I'll add templates here if you want, if you're interested in any of my templates, which is going to be inside of the Ultimate Charting Guide. But you can use templates from anywhere. Like I've gotten templates from other places. So that's the best way to get started with setting up like these fancy charts, like TPO charts and footprints and all that stuff. I'm also going to make more videos. I think I've already made a video about setting up a TPO, but in the near future, I'm going to make a video about a footprint chart and setting that up. But just as a quick reference, while we're on this topic, the one way to put indicators on your chart is to go under analysis and go into studies. And these studies, these are your indicators. You see you have a lot of indicators here. And so on the topic of footprint chart, the way you would do that is you would use the numbers bars. And when you want to add one of these indicators or one of these studies to your chart, you just go to add, right? And just by default, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this and show the default settings. But you can see, what that looks like here. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about it in this video, of course, because that's like another 30 minutes to an hour type of situation. But, you can set that stuff up for yourself. But my recommendation, if you're just brand new to Sierra chart and when you're just trying to get used to it, is to use a template, right? All right, so, and one more thing I want to mention here is if you need a quote board. So if you're not just trading ES, let's say I want to trade ES and NQ or whatever. If I want to trade multiple things and I don't want to have a bunch of charts up, I just want to be able to switch between the different symbols. You can open up a quote board. So you'll go up here to File. You just go to New Quote Board, open that up, and you can start throwing symbols in here. So let me just say I want to, and I double click on that to change the label if I want to label. If I want to add some symbols in here, I just click on this, and then I go to symbols, and then I can start adding from here. I can also add labels from here as well. So the best way to do this is to go to Find, and then you'll start adding your symbols in from here. Do ES, let's say I want the next upcoming one as well. Click on Add, do that again. You see I can move stuff around here and just using the options in this window. When you're adding, you want to make sure you click on the blank spot. All right, so you can just take your time and build that however you see fit. And once you hit close, and then everything will go there. And you can also just add it in here directly. Let's just say I want to add RTY. That should also be on CME. Click OK. All right, I got RTY in there. And then you got some settings and stuff in here that you can play with to where you can change everything in your columns as you see fit, right? So that's just some basic setup stuff of Sierra chart and how to get started with Sierra chart, how to quickly get started with Sierra chart. Now, the last thing I want to mention here is about trading from Sierra chart. So if you want to trade from these charts, you just click on the chart that you want to trade from, and you go to trade. I'm gonna close this time and sales and all this other stuff down. Get this extra stuff out of the way. So let's say I want to trade from this chart. I will just go up here to trade, and then I will have to turn on chart trade mode. So chart trade mode on. Click on that. Now I can trade from the chart. Right? If I right click, I can see I have different order types that I can execute from there. If I want to put a trade window in here, I can go to trade. I can either open a trade window for the chart, which is open up separate off the chart, or I can go to trade and click on attach trade window to chart, and that'll put it there. And if I go into the settings, there's a setting to where I can put that trade window on the right if I want to. There's a lot of different settings that you can do with this. I'm not going to go into all that in this video for this quick walkthrough. And then, you know, I can start trading from here. I can figure out how to place orders in here. I got different order types there. And I got a lot of videos on all this stuff also, if you know, so that you can just go through and check out my Sierra chart series, where I go into more details about these different things and how to place different types of orders and all of that good stuff, right? So I don't want to make this video too long, right? So that's trading from the chart. And then one more thing, so you can see right here, this chart is in blue. So if I want to, that means I'm in sim mode. So if I want to go live and I want to trade in my actual account, I will go up here and I will go to trade, and I will uncheck this trade simulation mode on, right? I will uncheck that box right there. But before we do that, we got to make sure we're at our data service, right? So now that you got everything set up and you want to, you know, you're good to go, you know, you're not going to be overusing data and all that stuff, or mistakenly placing trades, you can go ahead and connect your data trade service to your actual broker, right? And then you'll go to data trade service settings. And so for me, let's say I'm using Teton. I'm gonna go to Teton there, click on A, and then under here in the clearing firm, I have a separate video on with more details about this, and then I'll click whatever broker that I set my Teton up with, right? So if I'm trying to trade in one of the funded programs, I'll go back up here and I will go to Rhythmic Direct, click on A, and then I'll pick my service. You will put your information in there and like just try to connect. Basically you have to play with it by, you know, just trying to connect to it without it being connected to the actual right server to get all your servers to come in. Kind of weird sometimes, right? And then based off of whatever you're trading with, wherever you get your Rhythmic data from, however they told you to connect to Rhythmic, you would use that Rhythmic connection here, right? So if you're trading with Apex has their own server. You can see Apex's server down there, right? You can just pick the one that's more relevant to you. I think it looks like Top Step has their own as well, and then some other ones which I haven't confirmed, but I know Apex, they have their own, right? And if the funded program that you're trading with doesn't have their own, then you can just use the regular Rhythmic paper trading server, right? I just put random stuff in there, so that's not going to work. So let me go ahead and go back to this one. I'm just going to use this, keep this for this example. Hit A. Okay. If I get this message right here to translate the symbols, I can go ahead and click yes. Let it do its thing. And so now I'm back connected. All right, so that's just a quick run through of how to get started with Sierra chart. I just went over the basic stuff. And if you have like issues or questions, you know, definitely feel free to reach out to me. The preferred method is to reach out in Discord. That way, like, because especially if I'm busy doing something and you need an immediate answer, you ask a question on Discord, sometimes somebody else may know, they may know the answer to it and they can go ahead and answer it for you, right? Or you can leave the question in the comments below and I'll make a video on to answer your question if it requires it. Now, so here's the part that we've all been waiting for. Here's the special announcement. And if you're interested in getting Sierra chart for free for 6 months, EdgeClear is sponsoring a giveaway to where if you can sign up for this giveaway. Let me go to the page. This link will be in the description below. So you just go to this link and you'll sign up for this giveaway. Enter your information in here for a chance to win at this giveaway. And if you win the giveaway, then you will get 6 months of Sierra Charts for free. All right, so that's the giveaway that we're running for this month. And the winner of this giveaway will be announced on July 31st in the next episode of Sierra Chart Tips of the Month. So with that being said, every month I'm going to give at least, I'm going to give some tips for Sierra Chart. I'm going to have a Sierra Chart Tips of the Month video that I'm going to, drop at least once a month. This month you get 2 because of this one, and then the one on July 31st. So stay tuned to the videos that come out in that series. But if you're interested in this giveaway and you want to enter your information and for a chance to win 6 months of Sierra Chart for free, which is huge, as we can see, it can get pretty costly over time. As I went through this example, this is just a basic example. If I needed all the CME data, the CME full data, that can save you a lot of money, right? So you can get that taken care of you for 6 months if you win this giveaway here, right? Make sure you read through these eligibility rules right here. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by reading it for you. Just make sure that you read it. Once you put your information in there, and then click agree that you have read it, read it. Make sure you read this information here before you put your information in so that you're fully aware. Click that you agree, put your information in there, and then you'll click submit, and you will be entered into winning. And then we will reveal who is the winner of that giveaway. July 31st, Sierra Chart Tip of the Month. You don't want to miss it, okay? One more thing before I end this video. I've been kind of thinking about doing like one-on-one sessions or maybe group sessions with anyone that needs help with Sierra Chart. So I kind of want to do a poll to see who will be interested in something like that. Of course, something like this will need to be paid as a paid type of situation because, it just takes my time and it would take my time to do something like that. So if you're interested in something like that, just in the comment section, go ahead and type in Sierra help. I want to kind of just do a poll to see who would be interested in that kind of a thing. Yeah, I'm just kind of curious about who would be interested in something like that. All right, so that's going to wrap this one up. If you have any questions, like always, leave those in the comments below. And make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you haven't already done so. And until the next one, trade it easy.